You see a theme here, guys? Peacefulness. Magic. Peaceful magic. This is how this world used to be. This is how this land that we live on used to be. This is what we're heading back to, guys. It was taken. It was robbed. It was stolen. And so, we're gonna start today by saying our thanks. How you guys doing? We'll say thank you for our life. Thank you for our breath. Thank you for our medicine. Thank you for our health. Thank you for waking us up today. Thank you for our time together. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for the beautiful weather. Thank you for continuing to guide us and lead us. Thank you for continuing to keep us safe. Thank you for continuing to let things unfold the way that they're supposed to, so that we can all, and everything else can unfold the way that it is supposed to. So I've got 2 writings to read. They are both very long, but they are both very informational. And I said I was going to dive some more into sharing with you a bit about our history of this country here and how we got here today to the place that we're in with our Burger Kings and our Walt Disney Worlds and our shopping malls, when we used to just be a peaceful people that used to live here with the land and nature and live in a magical existence. And that's all been taken from us, so now we have to go ride roller coasters to feel it through. So, 2 writings, they're long. I'm going to do my best to get through them. I want to read them nice and slow so that we can all take them in. And yeah, so this first one's called Before We Killed the Water, Before We Killed the Land, Before We Killed the Air, and Before We Killed the Man. And this would be a time here where before, the white man, the European, decided to come in and spread his disease and terrorize and destroy. And so we're going to get some insight into how life used to be lived, how things used to be perceived just a few hundred years ago, much longer than that before. So this was written September 24th through November 30th of 2020. It's almost a month it took me to write it. And not that I wrote every day, but it took me a month of life to have it all come out. Sorry if the connection cuts out. I'm going to try to pay attention. If it does cut out, I'll pause and try to pick up when it comes back in. Hopefully we should be good here. Here we go. What if we could go back in the past, before the first fishing line had ever been cast? Here is a place that we haven't disgraced and sickened and polluted with all of our waste. The oceans are clean, and so are the streams, and the life that's within them is growing in teams. Not one single death at the hands of our own, only peace, respect, and love for the waters which we roam, and for the beaches that we comb, beside the lands which we call home. The water is there for life, to be it and to give it, and to nourish and provide, and to produce, and then to live it. And everything that's in it has a life and soul within it, so we do not dare diminish all the beauty that we witness. So as we're going here, guys, you can see this is it's like a great teacher teaching a young soul, maybe a young person who's got the way we live. This is the way life is. And you can see here, just right in the very beginning, there's no concept of killing. It is living one with nature. We don't dare diminish or tamper or hurt anything, because we are nature, just as the nature we see around us, and we do not have the right to do that. No killing, no fishing. Hope you guys got that last part, but here we'll keep it continuing. And everything that's in it has a life and soul within it, so we do not dare diminish all the beauty that we witness. No killing, no fishing, no trapping, no pissing. We all live as one beautiful light that is glistening. She is our life, and without her we die, and we're grateful and thankful for all she provides. Under her surface, another world hides, in the depths of the dark, on their own special ride. They're all here just like us, to experience, learn, and grow, and they all deserve their freedom while they're living deep below. Okay, guys? We forget that we live here with so many different animals and creatures And we don't really get to peek into the waters and underneath the waters, but if we were able to, we could see how there's literally an entire another world being lived, with all kinds of things that we don't even understand. And so this writing here is again, this beginning part is expressing how we understand that there is another world here, and we respect that, and we protect it, and we appreciate it, and we're grateful for it, and we do not hurt it. They're all here just like us to experience, learn, and grow, and they all deserve their freedom while they're living deep below. It's just another way of life besides the ones we live upright, and it's a magical existence to be in water day and night. There are many things unknown to the man who lives above, and you'd be wise to do some research and to do it with some love. Get yourself right in there and be one with all the life, and soak it in and let it fill you with all the things that feel so nice. Our brains are mostly water, and our hearts and bodies too, and when you immerse yourself within it, you begin to feel like you. So I had a thought yesterday, it was really interesting, it came up. So when we think about the elements, earth, air, water, fire, and we think, what I've understood is when we can combine the elements as much as possible is when we are connected and we are ourselves as much as possible. And so something that hit me yesterday, I've kind of thought about this before, but it really kind of clicked again yesterday, was if we can find ourselves in a natural body of water, you find yourself in the water, there's water. Your feet are on the earth and the sand, so there's the earth. You're within the air, so there's the air, and then the sun is shining on you, which is the fire. So if we can find ourselves, and let's do that this summer, guys, when we're out swimming in our natural bodies of water, whether they're lakes, the oceans, the ponds, whatever you can find yourself swimming in, let's feel our feet beneath us, let's feel the water all around us, let's feel the air, let's breathe it in, and let's feel that sun on us, and realize that with us being as the, kind of like the antenna, taking it all in, we are really bringing all the elements together within us, and being completely one with life and nature. So let's do that, guys. Let's understand that. So I'll read that again. Our brains are mostly water, and our hearts and bodies too, and when you immerse yourself within it, you begin to feel like you. You reconnect to what you are and who you are inside, and slowly but most surely, you begin to feel alive. We must always live in harmony with the water and its life, and take care of her as she does us, and give her all our light. We love you, Mother Ocean, and our hearts are with you strong. Together and forever, we will sing your loving song. What if we could go back in the past, before the first tree had ever met an axe? Here is a place that hasn't met its fate at the hands of the blade that the human being made. It's alive, and it is lush, and it is growing very much, and it is magical to the touch, and so diverse and full of love. Everything it does is an emanation of pure love and a reflection of above, to keep us grounded and surrounded, like a perfect fitting glove. It protects us and directs us and connects us to the nexus, and removes all that infects us, and makes clear all that perplexes us. It's our comfort, it's our shelter to protect us from the weather, and make everything all better after everything gets wetter. It's our vision of what's missing, and it's continuously speaking, all we have to do is listen. It's our food and it's our medicine to heal and let our light come in, to wipe away all of our sin and let us start afresh again. It's our friend and it's our brother, it's our sister and our mother, and it comes from no one other than the one of every color. The father of our mother, who has fathered every other, and has left us to discover everything that we're a part of. To get to the very heart of how this all became to start up, so that we can take our heart up and ascend without our guard up. The land contains our friends who are with us every day, and who show us what is possible in every kind of way. They run, they climb, they burrow in time, they stick with their families till the end, till they die. They care, they're fair, they're everywhere. And we have some things to learn about how they live while they are here. They live straight from the land, and every day they have a plan to keep on and do it again, every day until the end. They are thankful for their lives, and all their colors, shapes, and size, and they wake up every day with bright and cheery, grateful eyes. They do not take time to complain, because soon will be coming the rain to take away all of the pain and refresh us and bless us again. The land, it is our life, and without her we would die, so we thank her and we hug her, and we give her all our light. She is old but young at heart, and it is time that we all start to pitch in now and do our part to raise her high up to the top. Everyone must stop with the burning and the cutting and the destroying just for nothing and the pieces of land. It's disgusting. We'll be left with nothing and empty and dead, so we might as well cut off our own fucking heads and at least leave this life to survive here instead. What gives us the right to kill everything in sight and declare that it is ours, like we have some special powers? We have no idea what we're doing or the consequences ensuing. There we go, guys. I'm going to keep going here. Paused out, but we're going to keep continuing. So, what gives us the right to kill everything in sight and declare that it's ours, like we have some special powers? We have no idea what we're doing or the consequences ensuing because a storm it has been brewing, and it's from our own undoing. I'm surprised it's held this long considering all that has been done under our sad and aching sun at the hands of everyone. We used to all have fun and be connected all as one until we decided we were better and nature didn't really matter. That's what caused our hearts to shatter and our souls to split and scatter and our consciences to splatter. We essentially take our lives with every blade of grass that dies. And if we'd open up our eyes, we'd see the damage and its size. We've wiped away so much without so much as just our touch, and it has absolutely crushed the ecosystem into dust. What did we expect would happen when we killed the planet while we were laughing? Did we expect it to survive without its... What did we expect would happen when we killed the planet while we were laughing? Did we expect it to survive without its life, to let it thrive? Did we expect it to be happy while we raped it and depraved it? And enslaved it and decayed it to the point that we concaved it? Did we expect it to continue to give nourishment and life every time we cleared a forest or dropped a bomb to prove who's right? I really can't believe we were this ignorant and naive, and you should feel a lot of grief for how she feels beneath your feet. Let everyone decide that they are done with all this madness, with the fires and the matches and the cutting and the axes and the drilling and its practice that has filled this world with fractures. We've been sending Mother backwards, and we must stop our destructive actions, so that she can gain some traction and begin to feel her cracks in, so that all her life grows back in. It should be your passion to clean up and pick up trash and never litter, spit, or ash upon her surface. Show some class. Every positive thing we do heals our mother through and through, so please go do what you can do, and know that she's grateful for you. We all must do our part. The earth is in our hands. Let's heal our hurting mother and bring back her luscious lands. Good stuff, guys. Let's really focus this summer when we're outside. Again, kick your shoes off, kick your socks off, feel the earth beneath your feet, put your hands in the dirt, scoop some up, and say thank you. Hug a tree, say I love you. Okay, smell the flowers, say thank you. Look at the animals, look at the bugs, the bees, the butterflies, the dragonflies, the birds, say thank you, I love you. Okay? What if we could go back in the past, before our entire sky was polluted and gray and overcast? Here is a place that is clean and without waste, and that is fresh and that is healthy, and even has a pleasant taste. The sun is shining bright and everything is crystal clear, and there is not a single bit of contamination in the air. The breath, it is our life, and without it we would die, and so we're grateful and we're thankful, as it lifts us up so high. The sky is filled with life, with winged creatures that all fly, and wave us high when they fly by, and can go anywhere they like. They live a different way up in the air every day, looking at the world from above, and sending down all of their love. What else is in the sky? How about the stars hung way up high, that we all gaze upon each night, as we all shower in their light? Our sky does not just stop and stay contained within itself. It spreads out to outer space in every way. Our sky does not just stop and stay contained within itself. It spreads out to outer space in every way, north, east, west, south. We are sitting in the middle of infinity, and so everything we do, like release chemicals that pollute, just ascends and extends out to the furthest of extremities. We're not just suffocating ourselves, we're strangling every ounce of life, and in the process it will cost us everything that is in sight. Let's stop this now, tonight, before we take another bite. Let's decide to do what's right and clean our air out till it's clear out and the sun shines big and bright. Let's see and feel that rainbow light that's all around us and that grounds us and that makes us feel all right. With the snap of our fingers, we'll clear all the fog that lingers, and this will be the thing that brings us to all sing, which then will wing us. We'll finally get to be just like the birds, so proud and free, and soaring all throughout the heavens with our flock in flying V. But first we must clean up all of the damage that's been done. Before we all can have some fun, we must undo what has been done. Our atmosphere is filled like a balloon with all our waste, and it's been working overtime to try to filter and replace, but even so it all just goes and leaks real deep in outer space. It's time that we must face that we have been hurting this place, and in return it's been in pain, and all its suffering's been in vain. The first step for us to fix it is to acknowledge that we did it. Then our consciousnesses change, and that is how we all can rid it. It's all within our minds, and it all starts within our hearts, and we need every single person to commit and do their parts. The minute we believe it is the minute we achieve it, and the minute we relieve it is the minute we receive it. Everybody needs it because everybody bleeds it, and so everyone will see it, and then everyone will be it. It's time that we decree it and stand up for what we believe in. Let's heal our sacred air and all the magic that we breathe in. Yeah, guys. Man, there's certain parts of this world where you can't even walk outside with, not seeing the fog and the pollution, and you're driving down the streets and you see the smokestacks and the chemical plants and this air, as much as we feel like, because we breathe it all day, is clean. It is so dirty. If we were able to put a filter and wipe it through the planet real quick, we would see a big black dirty filter, and probably a lot of other gross colors and things in there too. So again, all because of our actions causing pollution and waste, which is hurting the planet, destroying our atmosphere, destroying our waters and our land. And here we go. Before we killed the man. What if we could go back in the past, before the first stone ever was cast? Here is a place that is magic and great, and where love is flowing freely and people relate. There isn't even a concept or a thing such as hate, and every day spent loving because everyone's okay. The people sing and dance and live adventures in a trance, and all this helps them to advance thanks to the mushrooms and the plants. They know the truth of life because they live it day and night, and they see everything in sight, and so they know they're living right. They share, they care, and they do not dare to hurt another human or cause sadness, grief, or fear. They know these things and what they do, and so they treat each other true, to lift each other through and through, no matter what, they've all got you. So what exactly happened that deflated, stopped, and flattened all that beautiful love and passion that our hearts and souls all fashioned? It was the desire for more, to be more, to know more, to have more, to see more. It led to an individualistic dark ego that believed it was superior to the very thing that made it up and that it was a part of. It separated itself from itself. And from that point forward, all hell would break loose. At first, it started as smaller personal things like increased health, a longer life, a more pleasant feature or figure, more abundance, more knowledge, more information, more power, more wealth, more. The wanting and the needing became addicting, and further we all grew from one another. The idea of any of us doing anything together as one anymore was a long ago dream that was faded and nearly forgotten. The ones with the strongest desires for power and wealth completely and entirely severed their ties with our mother and father, with themselves, with any of us, with their light, with their love, and with any concept of who they were or what in the hell they were doing. They had completely and willingly blinded themselves for their own personal gain. This was the start of where we are today. You began to have individuals grow in size larger than entire countries, and they dictated their authority on everyone and everything below them. The people didn't know what to do, as it was not in their nature to fight or to hurt or to go against or to resist or to scream or to cry or to die. Everything they knew, everything that was us, was gone. Slowly but surely, these dark souls were fairly easily able to convert and to brainwash other lost souls, who at this point, of course, had been wandering for generations in circles without the slightest clue which way to go. So they fed you a story like a child, to frighten you, to manipulate you, and to deceive you into believing something that they knew would trap you. If you buy in and you willingly sign your soul over, you're theirs. Simple as that. And they got so many people. If I were to give you a number, your heart would drop to your stomach in shock. It was that devastating. Eventually, the virus had spread to nearly every person, and the ones who weren't infected were killed and done away with. Everyone had fully bought into this absolute joke of a story of God and life and humans and the devil and demons and sin and sacrifice and slavery and murder and warfare and killing and our brothers and sisters and sacrificing our children and eating human flesh and drinking human blood and hanging people on crosses and sending people to hell and having to beg to be saved, and that the human being is nothing compared to God, and that this planet is a prison and you are its prisoner and there is no escape except through God's cold, bloody, brittle hand. How in the world could we, one, ever be sane again after something like that, and two, ever wake the hell up from the nightmare that we had walked ourselves into? How could we possibly remember everything that we had forgotten and everything that was taken from us? We had all gotten so good at believing this lie that our entire world, lives, and reality changed all around us. We had chosen to manifest their nightmare instead of our dream. And we still are. This is their nightmare that we have been living in. Their hell, their misery. It is time that we say enough and we wake up. Enough, enough, enough. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It is time that we take our dream back, our paradise back, our joy back. No more living the way they tell us and doing as we're told. We're not their property. We are human beings. We are magnificent beings of earth and light, and we shine like the sun and the stars in the night. We are free. We are magical. We are happy. We are loving. We are grateful. We are thankful. We are kind. We are caring. We are helpful. We are supportive. We are understanding. We are wise. We are intelligent. We are conscious. We are gifted. We are special. We are magical. We are unique. We are invaluable. We are priceless. We are eternal. We are infinite. We are the water. We are the air. We are the earth. We are the sun. We are one. We are human. And let's take it even further before the first word. What if we could go back in the past before the first word? Here is a place that isn't so absurd, and here is a place where cursing isn't heard. People haven't learned to yell and scream and talk with hate, and no one's told a single lie because no words exist to say. There's nothing in the way between us pushing us away, and we experience every day together as one big family. Which is in, everyone helps. Everyone is on the same page. Everyone has strengths and skills and talents and abilities, and we all cherish each other for our gifts, and we share them freely, as we know that that is what will continue to lead us forward. Nobody is higher or better than anyone else. We are all a team. Nobody is higher or better than anyone else. We are all a team working together, sharing, living, and creating our dream together. There is no dialogue. There is nothing to go off of. No history book to manipulate and misconstrue, or Bible to deceive you and to tell you what to believe in. There is no leader whose words are greater than any other or whose commands must be obeyed. There are no contracts to take away your human rights and to sign your life away. There are no laws to interpret and to tell you what you can and can't do. And there are no dictionaries. There are no laws to interpret and to tell you what you can and can't do. And there are no dictionaries to definitively tell you what something is or isn't. There are no clocks to tell you what time it is, or calendars to tell you what day it is. There are no mathematical equations or binding scientific certainties, as nature is alive and real and raw and unpredictable and all-powerful and ever-changing. And so to limit its existence to some numbers and letters is as big an injustice as is the robbing of our souls. We wake up and we are grateful. We spend our day with nature and with our family, each other. We are grateful for everything that the day brings us, and we rejoice in our bounty, our lives, and in our blessings. We work as a team to make sure everyone is healthy and happy. We come together and we hold hands and we share in a moment, the moment, our moment, together. When we do this, we are actively and consciously dreaming together. We are continuing our dream in the absolute and only right direction. Do you see how it's not about having a story, but living one? As soon as you stop living your story and you start focusing on one that's already written, you immediately stop all forward progress and you trap yourself to be enslaved within the confines of the words that are on the page. And what's the thing with stories? They never change. So you literally are stuck, frozen in time, reliving over and over again the same awful, horrendous, tiring, backpedaling, self-encircling, never-ending, not meant for you, built to keep you imprisoned, nightmare. And you expect your life to change. The only way it can change is if you close last millennium's best-selling psychological thriller and you open up your eyes. It is time to stop reading, and it is time to start living. Our story is far from over, and it never will be. That's the beauty of it all. It is all within us and all before us. It is all just an experience within a moment that never ends. And it is always happening. And we are the blessed, beautiful, and lucky souls who get to live it, be a part of it, and continue it. So let's do that. Let's continue on with our story, and let's never look back again. Good stuff, guys. So, you see there, we don't even need to speak words, and we could live in a much better place because of that, right? What it shows you, though, is the power of words, okay? If that's the way we can live without them, could you imagine what we can do with them? Because that's what allows us to even communicate on a deeper level and be able to share and you know, this is like, it's like the animals, how the animals live. They don't necessarily speak, so it's more of an interaction. It's always an interaction and a greeting, and it's a connection. But if we were able to use our words in ways to help express the deep thoughts that are contained within our conscience, that's where the art comes out, and the creativity comes out, and the inspiration comes out, and we can all thrive from that. So let's keep our words kind and polite and nice. Alright, I know the connection's kind of crappy here, but I'm doing my best to pause, continue where I left off. So I hope that it's all going good. And I just wanted to follow that up with this other one. It was actually written just prior to that one. This was written November 25th through November 28th, 2020. But it kind of, what I just wrote was explained how things used to be, how they're going to be again, how they can be. And this writing now is going to be more of how we went from that place to the place we find ourselves today, in a world of destruction and lies. So, follow along with me. I am the dreamer. We had a close and personal relationship with God, our Father in heaven, as we were from the stars. We were expanding in consciousness, and we were seeking a deeper understanding of what exactly that meant, what exactly consciousness was, who exactly we were, and what exactly love was and wasn't. However, over time we had forgotten what love was entirely because we had gotten so off track with our desires to become and to know more. Ego started forming, and personal desires took precedent over our conscious awareness of our true, eternal, ever holy, and infinite nature. And eventually we had completely forgotten where we were, who we were, where we had come from, and how we had gotten there. And in turn, we fell to the earth to uncover and discover the answers to all of our questions, to remember and to heal from all of our choices and subsequent pains, traumas, disconnections, and separations, and to experience and to feel what real, honest, and true love actually was, and in turn, learn to really, honestly, and truly love ourselves and everything that we were a part of. They had a close and personal relationship with nature, our mother on earth, as they were from the land. However, they were struggling with the harsh and unforgiving earthly elements and conditions for so long, and were seeking to realize higher guidance, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and salvation from above, and were actively and persistently working towards the actualization of that manifestation. They were seeking a deeper understanding, connection, relationship, and realization of, with, and to our Father in heaven, their ancestors, the unseen world, and everything beyond themselves in the earth. And our arrival was supposed to be the fruition of their dream, that they had all been waiting for, and that we were here to fulfill. We were meant to share our knowledge and wisdom of God, our Father in heaven, our history of the universe, our inherited and accumulated skills, talents, abilities, and art sets, and to share what we knew, the human, and in reality and actuality, the conscious human potential to be. They were meant to share their knowledge and wisdom of nature, our mother on earth, and all of their accumulated and inherited skills, talents, abilities, and art sets, and to share what they knew, the potential of love, and in reality and actuality, the potential of universal love to be. We were meant to meet and to come and to be together, to learn from each other and to share our gifts and understandings and truths and blessings and love and light with each other, in order to help heal each other, remember, understand, uplift, and awaken together, so that we could rise up together as one family of light. So you can see how life set us up. Okay, you had people who were seeking one direction, another people seeking the opposite direction, and they were supposed to meet in the middle. Okay, these are the ancestors, the white ancestors meeting our native ancestors here on this planet Earth. Okay, we were supposed to come together, and it's supposed to be a family brothership, and we all know what happened when the white man came, right? But let's keep going into it. So we were meant to meet and to come together and to be together, to learn from each other and to share our gifts and understandings and truths and blessings and love and light with each other, in order to help each other heal, remember, understand, uplift, and awaken together, so that we could rise up together as one family of light. Instead, we absolutely blew our chance, our opportunity. Apparently, we were much more hurt and traumatized from our fall than we could have ever expected or prepared for. It happened in a moment, and we were ripped away from everything we knew, and were left essentially amnesic. This is the white man I'm talking about. This is us here, the Europeans here. Okay? Our fall, and why we're so effed up and hurting, and why we had to hurt everybody else, because we're hurting. That's what you do when you're hurt. Falls hurt, guys. We know that. So apparently we were much more hurt and traumatized from our fall than we could have ever expected or prepared for. It happened in a moment, and we were ripped away from everything that we knew, and were left essentially amnesic. We had no idea the hell that lay waiting for us when we arrived, which wasn't a hell at all, but simply so far from where we had come that it appeared to be in our eyes. We were scared and frightened, and felt naked and abandoned and alone. We all know this feeling. We felt like we didn't have a home, and that we were cheated, and that we deserved and were owed something. We essentially felt the opposite of love, in what appeared to be our non-existent hearts. And it caused us to hate this place, and to hate them for having a home and a mother and love in their hearts. And so we did what anyone with a broken heart would do, and no desire. And so we did what anyone with a broken heart, no desire to live, and hatred in their bones would do. We acted out. Okay, guys? And we're still doing this. Okay? We're still doing this. And we have young people still buying into this and continuing this today, to buy into this and believe that we need to act this way. Defend something that there's no defending. Okay? We're the ones that took and terrorized. Okay? What you're trying to defend is a lie. You're trying to defend the pain and the hurt that has been caused, which isn't right. All right, now the native ancestors here. They were more than welcoming. They had already considered us friends and brothers before we had even arrived. But we couldn't seem to understand this or how to reciprocate this, for we knew we were different, and we didn't and couldn't feel those same feelings. They saw us as the same, and we saw them as different. That's still how it goes, guys, right? They saw us as glowing, heavenly, advanced, intelligent souls of light, and they treated us like gods. All right, guys? So you can watch your Ancient Alien shows, and you hear all these stories where the beings came down and were advanced beings and were teaching and showing, and then the people treated them like gods. And again, these people ended up manipulating them and allowing them to believe that that was the case, and saying, I am your God. Yes, 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 worship me. And then we've got the Egyptians and the pharaohs and the start of the nonsense, okay? The dark magic. We should have seen and treated them the same way in their own right. because they were the true light beings. However, we saw them as childish, primitive, weak, unintelligent, and unworthy, and we treated them like expendable waste. They saw a hope of a future of brotherhood and of a magical existence together. We saw a people and a place that we could manipulate, control, enslave, and ultimately destroy. They saw that we were sick, and they tried to help us. We saw only darkness and suffering, and so we made and forced everyone and everything else into darkness and suffering with us. We became selfish beyond an extent that isn't even possible to describe in words, and we lashed out in fear and jealousy and anger. They couldn't survive against our weapons and our numbers and our hatred, and we couldn't have been happier. We knew we had the control and the power, and we used it against them in every single possible way that we could think of. We destroyed their cultures, we destroyed their traditions, we destroyed their lands, and we destroyed their homes. We destroyed their progress, we destroyed their hope, and we destroyed their faith and their spirits and their lights. We forced them to treat us as superior, and we forced them to degrade themselves to nothingness. Guys, 60, 70, 80 years ago, we've got the African people who we, again, took as our slaves. Here, this is just our grandparents' generation here, guys, doing the same things. We're still doing it. We send ourselves over to these third world countries, as we call them, and do the same things. We're the superior gods to them, right? And we tell them what to do, and they have to listen to us. We're still doing it, guys. We force them to treat us as superior, and we force them to degrade themselves to nothingness. We took all of their ancestral, historical, astrological, cosmological, terrestrial, extraterrestrial, natural, spiritual, and prophetic knowledge and wisdom, and tore it up, spit on it, stomped on it, burned it, twisted it, and manipulated it into an absolutely unrecognizable and pitiful excuse of a truth. In fact, we had created, constructed, and concocted the biggest and most atrocious lie in human history to confuse, to sicken, to deteriorate, to separate, and to segregate every single one of them, of us. And it worked. And it is still working. The churches, guys. It was sick and it was disgusting, and we were wrong in nearly every single way. And we completely, entirely, and utterly destroyed, severed, castrated, obliterated, and shattered each and every single one of our connections, remembrances, understandings, and truths, not only with, to, and of our mother and father, but also ourselves, sending all of us down into an endless pit of hell and darkness, where we would remain until this very second. However, there was a catch. First of all, I must state here and now that not every single one who came here was infected in this way, meaning the white Europeans, okay? It's not everyone was dark. There were many, many bright souls of light who retained within them their true knowledge and understandings and remembrances, and it was their job to make sure that these truths remained unforgotten. And this is what you know about the people. These are the groups of people in our history who were wiped out. The magical people. Okay, the cultures who worked with the magic and understood the truths, and then they were wiped out. Their truths and their information was taken, and then they used that to make up lies and create Bibles. And so a lot of these people that came here with that fall, they watched their brothers and sisters fall and lose their minds and their hearts, but they were able to retain theirs and keep within them the knowledge, right? And so some of us have that retained within us. And so we're here to shake our brothers and sisters and say, stop it, guys. Stop it, okay? I'm one of you, and we need to stop it, okay? There were many, many bright souls of light who retained within them their true knowledge and understandings and remembrances, and it was their job to make sure that these truths remained unforgotten. They came here and they helped. They shared, they cared, they loved, they taught, they instructed, they guided, they enlightened, they elevated, they advanced, and they instilled extremely, extremely deeply their teachings, knowledge, and wisdom with many, many cultures around the world. Again, if any of you watch the Ancient Alien shows, you can see this. They go around the world in the past to all these different cultures, and you have the good people going around teaching good things, but then you also had at the same time a lot of corrupt people going around pretending they were gods and they were superiors, and teaching dark magic and weaponry and warfare. And so we've been in a battle since then here. They, whether they knew it or not at the time, were ensuring our survival all these years later, the ones who retained the knowledge. They became lovers and husbands and wives because of how deeply their love flowed for each other, meaning some of the white Europeans and some of the native ancestors unified, okay? Because as the light people are coming down and teaching the right ways, of course, relationships build with these people. And so you've got, you hear the stories in the Bible of the angels coming down and mating with the humans, and it's not the case. Okay, it's the and saying like that's like the God mating with the humans, and then it was not the case. It's the white Europeans, the advanced Europeans coming, and we're going to have some of them causing destruction and warfare, but then there's others that connect and incorporate their life and their cultures with the cultures of the natives here, and they learn the medicine ways and they learn the ways here, and they end up coming together, okay, and realizing that they're going to make the dream happen together, whether or not on a global scale it's happening. They know that it's their job to do their part, and so they're feeling that love for each other, okay. On a very small scale, in a very small portion of the world, the dream, as it had been envisioned, was alive and working and beautiful. Two peoples of the same but of different, coming together as one, to share in all of the wonder and mystery of the conscious existence that we are all a part of. Two histories, two ancestries, two lineages, two distinct DNA structures, forming one golden child. So now you have a child of light and of land, of heaven and of earth. Here you go. Here's how it happens. They wanted to solidify their union in the most sacred way possible, with the combining of their DNAs, resulting in the live birth of our first blessed baby boy of light and earth. He was literally a human God in the flesh, our Savior, our salvation, our hope, our pride, our light, our future, our baby, our boy, our son. He was so beautiful. To see our DNAs come together in one of the most magical and unbelievable ways. To watch him grow bigger and bigger in the belly of our first Holy Mother. His birth was holy. He was holy. He was innocent. He was our way to everlasting life, love and peace. Just the fact that he was born changed everything. The implications were reality shaking. Yes, Brian, yes. Yes, you fucking are. You were here and you were wide awake, even as a newborn baby. Complete and utter peace, connection and harmony, and seeing and knowing everything. Knowing where you were, who you were, and why you were there. Knowing you were the Son of God and the Son of Man. Knowing the pain and the suffering that was all around you, that you were here to heal, and knowing exactly what you must do in order to do that. You were the balance. You were the answer. You were the key. And you still are and continue to be to this very exact moment. The people knew who you were because you were the biggest talk of the world. It actually and finally happened. Our son, born half of the stars and half of the earth, to unite the two and to lead us all to glory. You were protected as a child, as the fact of you alive meant that human beings could be and would be free. And by this point, the ones in control would have died before they would have let that happen. And they certainly and willingly did. Sick, sick people. So you can see by combining the two lineages, and you have a child, okay? Now the child contains within them the DNA of both sides. That's how you can end the war, guys. Because you got two sides that are bickering over issues. The child is now the intermediary between. He's the unifier and says, hey guys, stop fighting, we're now all a family. And this is the golden child, the golden son. While you are here, me, everything is different. Like, everything and everyone just stops what they're doing and focuses all of their attention to you. They hang on your every word and they eagerly await your next instruction. The world hangs in your fingertips as you decide what comes next. A complete and utter balanced and in tandem connection with our mother and our father. In complete unison and harmony, always. Literally, your one presence shuts everything down. It is like there is an infinite amount of you everywhere at all times, influencing, affecting, directing, inspecting, and protecting. They cannot win. They cannot stand you. They are always actively after you in some fashion, to silence your noise, to dim your light, to quiet your voice, and to stop your unrelenting force of love that emanates and emits from you like a sonic wave of conscious energy. Boom. One hand in front of you to spread you to the world so that they can see you and can feel you. You feel me, guys? They will know your face. They will know your words. They will know you. As you became older, you became even wiser, and you began practicing in the many arts of healing and transfiguration, transmutation and psychic telepathy, astral projection and conscious dreaming. You were being guided by the very brightest of souls at that time, learning the true ancient ways and ingraining them within your mind, heart, blood, body, bones, soul, and spirit. You were and are essentially and a matter of factly the housing vessel of the Holy Grail. The Grail is the key to everlasting life, and you are the key to everlasting life. You hold it within you, deep, deep within you. Very, very, very safely away and protected by many, many means and by layer upon layer of topsoil to keep it nice and buried and tucked away. Are you really beginning to understand this all now? Good. I knew you would. You continued to grow and to cause massive change on this planet. You were like an entire sun, just sitting still, burning bright, all day long, every day. You couldn't be ignored. It was impossible. It was like the whole world and even places and beings from beyond were watching and wondering what is going to happen next. They didn't truly understand, like you did, the things you were doing, how you were doing them, and why. They tried to continue on with their lives as normal, but nothing was normal anymore. A real God of man was alive and breathing and walking the same planet as everyone else. And how could you possibly even contain yourself enough to even think about mundane tasks or chores for even a minute? It had become the daily talk, the daily news. The world had stopped and was simply watching and waiting. The controllers, they don't like this so much, so they planned for the removal of you through your earthly death. They knew that if they could kill you in your human form, that your soul would be fragmented and left obliterated, trapped and enslaved within their control. But you knew this, of course. You see it all. You knew that your future, you knew what your future held if you were to stay here and await your own death. Your entire being here would have been in vain and in utter waste. You left and entrusted your teachings, ways, truths, and philosophies with a very close and select group of people to ensure their safety and survival, and to ensure your own safety and survival, which was of the utmost importance for all of our safety and survival. And you did what any great master does. You consciously and willingly ascended and exited out of your body and into the ether to become one with all that is, until the earth and its people would need you again. Looks like it's time, guys. After your departure, the world became dark. What was once a place filled from end to end with your light was now dimmed to an almost complete black. Your presence that was so present before was now completely and entirely gone. Your influences on the world had been monumental, but your leaving of it was earth-shaking. Literally. The people had looked to you for direction, and now you were gone. And the controllers used this time of darkness and the lack of your influence on them and the planet to really take their manipulating and controlling to another level. So you can see, guys, when you've got people here working consciously, keeping the great dream intact and the vision forward, it causes a counteraction towards their BS, right? But when these people are taken out, that's why they go around, that's why they went around the world, you know, a couple hundred years ago, 1,000 years ago, and wipe everyone out, and told me you have to believe in this or else they wipe you out, right? because then they can do their controlling. If they have people consciously doing work like this, having conversations like this, counteracts their nightmare, and they don't like that. They knew what I had come here to do, and they knew that I had done a fairly good job of doing it. So they knew that they had to counteract all the work that I had completed. They erased all factual knowledge of me. They twisted and manipulated my spoken and written words and teachings, and they used my figure as their sacrificial offering to their bloodthirsty Dark Lord. They portrayed me as weak and tortured at the hands of my own people, hanging on a cross with nails through my body and blood pouring out of me. They claimed that I was awaiting and accepting of this in the name of my Father. They were killing me, and therefore the human being, hanging us all on a cross as an offering to their ruler, and firmly and dictatively planting their foot on the throats of every single one of us, while thrusting their swords deep within the heart of our mother. Through this story, they were successful in making the human being believe a few things. One, that I was brutally tortured and murdered, and that this was okay, and you should only be so lucky as a human to receive my same treatment. Two, that my teachings revolved around self-sacrifice and the appeasement of a bipolar, tyrannical overlord God. And thirdly, that it was through my death that I was risen by God to heaven, to sit at his right hand. Oh boy, this was really the kicker here. This promise of a rising from the grave upon your death, that you were so grateful for, to be with this deathly Father in his kingdom forever. Are you starting to see what's going on here? It was a way for you to enslave yourself. You're signing of your soul away to the devil. And this is exactly what happened and continues to happen to this very day. They suck people in with words like love and brotherhood, and then you find out you're drinking human blood and eating human flesh and worshiping a Lord on your knees with tears in your eyes and fear in your hearts, because you're afraid if you make one small mistake or displease your Father, that he will punish you and send you to hell for all of eternity. You believe that you are a sinner and that you are worthless and compared to him, and that you would die for him, and that you would do anything at any time, no matter what, no matter the cost, for him. Again, are you seeing what's happening here? You are consciously and willingly signing up to be a scapegoat, a lackey, a henchman, a slave for your all-powerful and almighty Lord. The Bible literally speaks of this God commanding one of his blind followers to murder and sacrifice his firstborn child to him, and he complies. This is a teaching in the Bible that the followers of use to base their love and devotion to their God, no matter what his command. This is a teaching of how to follow blindly this child-murdering evil warlord. Can you see what is happening now? You believed you were following God. In fact, you were following pure, unadulterated evil and darkness in its finest and most refined form. They allowed the people to sacrifice themselves. It was ingenious. And behind it all, they got everyone to forget about me, who I really was and what I represented, what I really was here. Why I really was here, and what I actually did while I was here, and what my true and actual teachings were, and what true love was. Okay? They twisted it all. It's not about the teachings. They made it about their story. I was forever the poster child for the darkest form of black worship to ever exist. You see it, guys. The little scrawny guy with the ribs hanging out and the blood pouring out of him, hanging on the cross, right? Sad. Letting all the humans know this is what you're worth, and this is what you should try to obtain to, being just as lucky as Jesus. Dark time after dark time passed with no sign of light, of hope, of God, of anything except death and disease and disconnection. The average lifespan of a human being had unbelievably, dramatically, and drastically declined to a number below the age of 30 years. And I talked about this before, guys. We want to think about how long can we live, okay? Well, clearly you can see when you do the wrong things, you can go back a few hundred years and see that the average lifespan of a human being was 30 years. And this is not a joke. Okay? How many of us at the age of 30 feel like we're literally just growing up? Okay? We haven't even started our lives yet. Okay? So we can see by doing the wrong things, our lifespans can be shortened. So it must mean the opposite if we do the right things. Our lifespans can be extended. Potentially indefinitely. Because it's all up here. The average lifespan of a human being had unbelievably, dramatically, and drastically declined to a number below the age of 30 years. It was one of the saddest times in all of humanity. We were literally bringing ourselves to and causing our own extinction. However, what everyone forgot about, but what was never missing, was the magic that we all had within us. Due to my birth that very special day and the permanent changes it caused within our DNA as a forward-moving family now united, heaven and earth, light and earth, stars and earth, magic and earth. Okay? What everyone forgot about, but what was never missing, was the magic that we all had within us. Due to my birth that very special day and the permanent changes it caused within our DNA, we all contain and will always contain within us the light of the stars and the love of the earth. And nothing could ever, can ever, or will ever take that away from us. Okay, guys? With our continued inevitable intermingling, the ancestors with the ancestors, and therefore swapped and shared DNAs through the birthing of our mutual children, the dream, although in pieces, remained haphazardly intact. So if the children were never born between the two, you would have just had the one group battling the other group, one saying magic, the other saying material, and you've got problems. And one saying peace, one saying violence, and you've got problems. But now you have the child, okay, comes up in between, and then through time and generations, many, many children, and you've got a whole new group of people in the middle saying, hey guys, right? Looking back at their ancestors saying, hey guys, we got to bring this together, all right? We're all family, all right? That's what this whole plan was all about. So, with the continued inevitable intermingling and therefore swapped and shared DNAs through the birthing of our mutual children, the dream, although in pieces, remained haphazardly intact. It would take generation after generation after generation of pain and suffering and heartache until one day another special boy would be born who would change everything again. And he has. And he continues to, as he writes this, and as I speak these words. His words are magic, and they are creating our reality. Believe it, guys. Believe me or don't. Not my job. My job is to tell the truth. His words are magic, and they are creating our reality. Everything he says is true. He is the one who has come to awaken us from our slumber. He knows every side of every story, and he's here to set the story straight. He's here to heal and elevate. He's here to pull us from our graves and lift us up so we are saved. He's here to unite us, and with that, rewrite us. And that then rewrites us of all that's inside us. He's come here to guide us with absolute pious and reunite, redefine, and reignite all us. He's doing it flawless, right down to the smallest, to take care and be aware, to not hurt or stall us. I'm trying to do my best, guys, and doing it ahead of schedule. His task is the tallest because it involves all us and our entire history, and fixing all that needs to be, and cleaning up all of the streets, and planting all of our future seeds, and taking care of all of our needs. It's why he's here on earth, you see. He's here for you and me, to help us free and help us see that we belong as one family with fire hearts and ecstasy. We'll huddle close and shoot a beam straight to the sky of human light and in a moment all is frozen. Then we disappear. Goodbye. We traveled space, we traveled time, into another dimensional line, where we are now safe and away from the crime, and we're healthy and whole, and we're doing just fine. We're more than halfway there. We just must trust in us, and in the process as such, because we have progressed very much, and we're close, so we could touch, and soon we'll outgrow all this stuff, and burst again a level up, where we will be there and we'll be clear, all arised and lightened up, all surprised and full of love, teary eyes and lots of hugs. A beautiful moment just from us. From here we can begin to move on as one again, as we did so way back then, till everything came to an end. And since that moment, we've been frozen and awaiting for our thaw, so we may continue with our journey that still has so very far. And now it is that time, for you've unlocked and unblocked our frozen and direct ancestral spiritual line, so that we can return in every new child that's born, and there will be, and there well before, so that we can return in every new child that's born, and be there well before the morn, to tether every tatter torn, to help us mend and help us send ourselves within the right direction, and to give us their protection as we make our next selection. We're all here as one, right here and now. We've made it. Now, let's decide and determine right here and now that we will never, ever, ever let what happened to us happen ever, ever, ever again. Ever. Now, let's see where our story takes us next. Oh man, a lot of information there. Essentially, guys, we had two sides. We had people living on Earth. We had people coming from the skies. They were supposed to meet and share and become a family and have a magical existence. People from the skies fell and lost their ways. Most of them caused destruction and started destroying the earth and the planet and the peoples here. In the meantime, you had groups of those certain people that, like I said, retained their knowledge and their lights and their hearts from that fall, and they were the true teachers here, okay, doing all the magical things, teaching us the right ways, and had relationships, and children were born. So then you have children bearing the DNA between both sides, and it's been a mission of the dark souls, we'll call them, to ensure that anyone with light within them is essentially wiped out and taken out, because they understand that with the continued combined DNA being present within us, that we will fight for our family. And that's not one side or the other, that's one family. We'll fight for each other, and we will rid ourselves of them. And so they essentially, you have the story of the crucifixion of Jesus, but really it wasn't that way. It's not a true story. The man himself is sitting in this chair speaking to you, and what happened was, before danger ensued, he exited. And you can see, if you go back in our history, after the death of Jesus and we start at year 0, you can go through the time frame, and we're going through very, very dark ages. They even call them the dark ages because the light was taken out. And so the light was removed so that I could remain safe, come back in a timeline when it was appropriate. And here we are today, coming into myself. I'm learning who I am, remembering who I am, so I can be here for you guys and do what we need to do. What I need you guys to do is believe in the truth. The more you continue to lie and not believe in the truth, the more we continue to stall, waste time, and we cannot move forward. You have to believe in the truth. The truth will set you free. Truth is all there is. Okay, guys? Truth is all there is. So, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep sharing. Putting out the good information for you guys. I don't think I have another scheduled writing until June. Sometime in June. But I have lots of information to go over for our Memorial Day weekend. Memorializing our ancestors that we lost here. And one that came up today that kind of clicked and it just hit me this morning was the atomic bomb we dropped on Hiroshima in Japan. Again, only 80 years ago. And hundreds of thousands of innocent lives lost. We are the terrorists, guys. We have always been the terrorists. Nobody else. So we try to defend our terrorist actions and put "do not tread" and "do not trespass on my property" signs up and arm ourselves with weapons and think we're tough guys because we're ashamed of our actions and we don't belong here. We've stolen this place and we don't belong here. And so what we need to do is ask for forgiveness and say, "I'm sorry." And say, if you would be so kind as to allow me to be here, I would love to remain here. But I understand the pain that you're going through, and that's been caused by me and my ancestors and what we've done. And what I want you guys to think about is, let's put ourselves in the pilot's seat of the pilot who pressed the button to drop the bomb on Hiroshima. We are the pilot. Let's put ourselves in his soul. He's sitting there, flying over, beautiful day out. Must have got up, probably kissed his kids goodbye that day. Put on his uniform, of course. You gotta put on your uniform. That's how you become the superhero, right? That's why they gotta sign up to be the superhero, sign their life away to go kill people at a word's notice by the commander-in-chief, by your old crippled white guy. Your old shriveled up white guy, go tell you to kill people, right? Go kill innocent people. So you put on your uniform so you can be the superhero to go kill innocent people for your country. That really isn't our country. And so he gets in his plane and he starts flying, and he has all that time from takeoff, getting in the air, all that time going through his heart and his mind and his conscience, thinking about what he's about to do, the lives he's about to take. But he really doesn't think because he's not connected. Okay? He's disconnected. He's doing what he's told. He's a puppet. It's like everybody else in the military, puppet. Doing what they're told. That's what they signed up to be, puppets. So he's doing his puppet, he's being his little marionette, you know. There ain't no strings on me, but these guys there are. And they get puppeted around and told what to do. And they think that it has no consequence. But it has consequence, and not just on the earthly realm here. So he has all that time to make a decision of, I'm not going to do this. This is not my choice. My choice is not to take hundreds of thousands of lives. My choice is to love my life and be grateful for it. But he doesn't make that choice, does he? No, because he's given an order that he has to act out. And he does it. He presses the button, man. He does it. He watches that bomb fall. And he knows he's safe up in his plane. And we've all seen the video. I'm not even going to post it. It's just disgusting to watch that giant bomb drop in the mushroom cloud and knowing that literally men, women, children, animals, plants, everything literally obliterated into fragments, pieces. Not to mention the nuclear fallout that is still present there. So what do you think happens to this man's soul at this point? He drops the bomb goes off, he watches it, watches the explosion. He can feel it. I'm sure he can feel it from the air. So essentially this man just took hundreds of thousands of souls of lives, and that means his soul and his life is now fragmented into as many pieces as he just took. So this man moves on from this earthly realm in pieces, in dust, basically like dust. He has no concept of anything, who he is, what he is, where he is. He's not even a thing. He's not nothing anymore. But he still has a conscience. He still is conscious, right? And so he is like, it's like when you're lost and in pain and suffering and have no hope of rescue, and you know it, and there ain't no going to sleep or dying this time because you're already there, so you're gonna deal with it. And you're talking eternities, pain and suffering from the actions that you chose to do. And if you want to scale this down into our own personal lives, guys, our negative actions, our angry actions, our outbursts, our yelling, our screaming, our fighting, our hurting, it fragments our hearts and our minds and our souls, and it breaks our hearts and our minds and our souls, and we are left in pieces. And none of us here yet are so lucky to be able to escape this thing called death. So when we die, we are die in pieces from all different places. So what we want to do, guys, here is do the right things. Be kind and loving. Heal yourself now. Do not believe that you have nothing to heal. You have your entire ancestral line to heal. That is a big endeavor. They are counting on you. You right now, the one who is standing here on this planet, the one who is the current one in line for you, who they are all looking at and relying on and counting on to heal. You contain within you the DNA of every single one of your ancestors, going back to the beginning of the first ancestor. Their parents created a child. Their parents created a child which contains their DNA. That child has a relationship with another person and contains their DNA and has you. And it keeps going down. So right now, how many generations can we go back? We don't even know, because we have no idea what our true history is. We'll just say millions of generations of DNA is concentrated now into you. You make up your entire ancestral line. So if you heal and break the cycles, your entire ancestral line heals and breaks its cycles and heals its traumas and pains and its sufferings, and they all get put back together. They are all counting on you. So, understand the responsibility you have with the time that you have here. Understand your past, our ancestral past, so that we can heal it and not make the same choices and decisions and to think the same ways. We're not here to continue on the cycles that we've created. We're here to break the cycles that we have created. We can be the ones to break them and stop them. Stop going to the church. Stop signing up for the military. Okay? Stop buying into the lies that the schools teach you. Stop having to slave away and waste your time for dollars. It's not an equal balance, trust me. Okay, guys, we have to start thinking bigger picture here. If we can stop this nonsense, we can all move forward and be living in that free, magical place where all things are possible and there is no pain, death, or suffering. All right, guys, I'm going to continue on with my day here and continue pushing this light out to the world around me here. Thank you for tuning in and taking time to listen, and keep doing your research, guys. Keep diving into yourselves. Keep looking around you and saying thank you for all that's around you. Thank you for your life, and saying sorry for the pain that has been caused here, and say sorry to mama. Say sorry to mama. Look around her. Look around. She's all around you. Say sorry to her for her pain and her suffering. Say we love you and we got you and we ain't gonna hurt you no more. Love you guys. Let's have a great day.